All right, so we got into this and I decided that we should do a video on it. We are changing the springs on this 2000 BMW 535? 528 Touring wagon. So we got some spring compressors, just borrowed those from AutoZone, and we are got them on each side here, compressing this thing. There are just three 13mm bolts for the top hat that we took off from right up here. And what else did we do down here? And then what we've done was disconnect the sensor, take the front sway bar end link off the top. And that was just one, yeah, that was a 16mm nut. It goes in this bracket right here. Yep. 16mm, backs out. And then here there was another bolt that goes through this hole and it basically pinches the shock body together so it doesn't spin. And that was a 16 on one end and then 18 on the other. Yep, and now this thing is, even with the spring compressor, you really can't get this thing out. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and take I think it was a 22mm. There's a nut on the top of this top hat that is holding that in. So we're gonna try to remove that from the top with this still in place. And hopefully that's gonna give us enough room to pull this thing out. All right, so we just pulled this back up, put one of the nuts back on it to kind of secure this. And now we're gonna try to get that middle nut out with the 22mm. Just a little extension. All right, we got the nut out. Now we can take these back off and lower it again. Okay, so now can we lift the top hat off? Yes. Nice.
Lost one stud.
We'll find that later.
Scary. That washer in between.
You're good.
We got plenty of room to come out now.
Yes.
Go ahead and remove this.
Scary spring off.
Yeah, get it away from my face.
All right. And now the shock just pulls straight out now that we have it loosened. Ta-da! All done. All right, so we got some ST suspension lowering springs. So again, just use the spring compressors to compress them a little bit, and we're gonna drop it in like this. For these, you have to cut the stock bump stop in half. So we did that, threw it back on. Now we're just gonna...
Just one thing to note, this notch ends up in this notch right here.
Oh yeah. Line your notches back up when you're sticking them in there. And we're gonna put the top hat on through the top again, just like the opposite of how we removed it, so that it'll fit. There you go. All right, you should be able to tell when it seats flat, and we have just enough room now. Got the top hat. Just stick it in here. So we got a little washer up top there. Oops.
gonna reach through the top and get that nut started. Hopefully you'll have just enough thread. That's what I say. So just use this through the top.
Hey, we gotta go to Harris Teeter.
When?
While I was out shopping for you, I had to come back and bring all the stuff, and I couldn't stop. Oh my God, no, you're not.
What were you saying, Mouthy?
Nothing. I don't say the
Alright, so now we can just take these spring tensioners off. Alright, so we're going to line up our holes, lower this again, and put the 13mm bolts back on the top. Line these guys back up and just lift the suspension up with your other hand. And as soon as you get them through, start those. So they only fit on one way. That little piece has to come through that hole. Here's the big bolt and nut that comes out of the bottom. There's a little bracket that holds on at the same time.
Goes into here. Nut side is 18. 16 on the bolt head.
Torque spec on this one is, damn, that's tight. With the tie rod. Goes right through here, and then we put the nut in.
That's a 16 millimeter nut.
What size is this stubby?
Yeah, if the end link starts to spin, you can use a 17 millimeter to hold it in place.
Good. Reconnect your wire. And it's all done. We now have lowering springs, so I'm gonna lower this back down, put the wheels on, and see what it looks like.